Chapter 13. In the 18th year of King Jeroboam began Abijah to reign over Judah. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Micaiah, the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah. And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. And Abijah joined battle with an army of valiant men of war, even 400,000 chosen men. And Jeroboam set the battle in array against him with 800,000 chosen men, who were mighty men of valor. And Abijah stood up upon Mount Zemaraim, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, and said, Hear me, O Jeroboam and all Israel. Ought you not to know that the Lord, the God of Israel, gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever, even to him and to his sons, by a covenant of salt? Yet Jeroboam the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, the son of David, rose up and rebelled against his Lord. And there were gathered unto him vain men, base fellows that strengthened themselves against Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, when Rehoboam was young and faint-hearted, and could not withstand them. And now you think to withstand the kingdom of the Lord in the hand of the sons of David, and you are a great multitude, and there are with you the golden calves which Jeroboam made for you, for gods. Have you not driven out the priest of the Lord, the sons of Aaron and the Levites, and have made you priest after the manner of the peoples of the other lands? So that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same becomes a priest of them that are no gods. But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. We have priests ministering unto the Lord, the sons of Aaron and the Levites in their work. And they burn unto the Lord every morning and every evening burnt offerings and sweet incense. The showbread also set they in order upon the pure table, and the candlestick of gold, and with the lamps thereof, to burn every evening, for we keep the charge of the Lord our God. But you have forsaken him. And behold, God is with us as our head, and his priest with the trumpets of alarm, to sound an alarm against you, O children of Israel. Fight you not against the Lord, the God of your fathers, for you shall not prosper. But Jeroboam caused an ambushment to come up behind them. So they were before Judah, and the ambushment was behind them. And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind them. And they cried unto the Lord, and the priests sounded with the trumpets. Then the men of Judah gave a shout, and as the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that God smote Jeroboam and all Israel before Abijah and Judah. And the children of Israel fled before Judah, and God delivered them into their hand. And Abijah and his people slew them with a great slaughter. So there fell down slain of Israel 500,000 chosen men. Thus the children of Israel were brought under at that time, and the children of Judah prevailed, because they relied upon the Lord, the God of their fathers. And Abijah pursued after Jeroboam, and took cities from him, Bethel, with the towns thereof, and Yeshanah, with the towns thereof, and Ephraim, with the towns thereof. Neither did Jeroboam recover strength again in the days of Abijah. And the Lord smote him, and he died. But Abijah waxed mighty, and took unto him 14 wives, and begot 20 and 2 sons, and 16 daughters. And the rest of the acts of Abijah, and his ways, and his sayings, are written in a commentary of prophet Iddo. Abijah slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, his son, reigned in his stead. In his days the land was quiet 10 years. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. And we remember yesterday, Rehoboam, who was the son of Solomon, he has passed on, and he had forsook the law of God. And God had punished Israel, and give them over into the hand of Shishak. He was the king of Egypt from the Pharaoh. And we'll find out Rehoboam didn't seek the Lord his God. He went after other ways, and we would have that even in the beginning of his reign, when he would listen to the young men that he hung out with, and he would not do well. But Abijah is my father's God. He begins to reign, and we'll pick it up right here in verse 1. In the 18th year of King Jeroboam began Abijah to reign over Judah. And it would be in the 18th year of Jeroboam would Abijah begin to reign. And Jeroboam is the strife of the nations, or the one who causes the strife, he who causes it. That's Jeroboam. And it would be in the 18th year of his reign, and 18 is going to be 10 and 8. And that is the law. It has a new beginning here, even this portion of the new beginning, in the greater understandings of this one that causes the nations to strive. Because Abijah is going to begin to reign over Judah. Abijah is my father is God. He does reign over all the praisings. 2. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Micaiah, the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah. And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. And 3 years would he reign in Jerusalem, Abijah would. And his mother's name was Micaiah. It was the daughter of Uriel of Gibeah. And we realized that yesterday his mother's name would have been Maacah, that beautiful weakness. But it's Micaiah. And she is the daughter of Uriel, this one whom is like unto God, Micaiah. And the daughter of Uriel, or this understanding even that comes from this light of the fire that is the mighty one, from Gibeah. Gibeah was that place they come out and made a covenant a long time ago. If we remember this from a long time ago, that hill, that's that little place on the hill. And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam, and we'll find out there was war between Abijah, my father's God, and Jeroboam, this one who does cause the nations to strive. 3. And Abijah joined battle with an army of valiant men of war, even 400,000 chosen men. And Jeroboam set the battle in array against him with 800,000 chosen men, who were mighty men of valor. And now Abijah has joined in battle with all these valiant men. These men are brave. These are brave men that are not afraid to fight for that which is right. We'll find out. Even these 400,000 chosen men, 400 because 4 is always going to be the work of God. See, judgment, the 100, even the fulfillment of all of it. These 1,000. We'll find out the example of it. And Jeroboam set in battle in array against him was 800,000 chosen men. Because, see, there's going to be a new beginning in judgment, even in the fulfillment of it here, and we can witness it, who were the mighty men of valor. And they were experienced in war. They had experience. They'd fought before. And Abijah stood upon Mount Zemaraim, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, and said, Hear me, O Jeroboam, and all Israel. So Abijah, he takes a position up on the mount. This is a lifted up area. It's a lifted up spot, not a mountain or a hill. It's just a rise. And it's the Mount of Zemaraim, and that's the mountain of fleece, or fleeces, or it gets its, it comes from that fleece that's been washed twice, or even bleached out to make it white. Then, and it's in the hill country of Ephraim. Ephraim is the fruitful, those of the double-fruited I like to refer to them as. And he said, Hear me, Jeroboam, and all Israel. So Abijah is going to speak to Jeroboam, this one that strives with the nations, and all Israel. Those are those that contend with the mighty one. 5. Ought you not to know that the Lord, the God of Israel, gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever, even to him and to his sons, by a covenant of salt? And this is what Abijah would say, that that God gave the kingdom of Israel, and that's the dominion over that which the king rules over. God gave that kingdom and its dominion of Israel, those that contend with the Mighty One, to David forever. It was a covenant that God made with David. He said, your sons will rule over the house of Israel as long as they keep the law. And that would be the covenant of salt, that agreement of salt. Because, see, it's the covenant was made for healing. The covenant was made to salt has the healing ability. It's not only a seasoning that gives the taste to everything. The salt is also it has a healing to heal the bad, to heal the taste, to heal that which is polluted. And that's what the covenant was, to do justice and righteousness, to keep the law, to set the example, keep that law right there beside you constantly, day and night. That was the covenant God made. 6. Yet Jeroboam the son of Nebat, the servant of Solomon, the son of David, rose up and rebelled against his Lord. And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and Jeroboam, once again, he's them ones that strives with the nations. He is the son of Nebat, and Nebat's that one we can look at. This one we can look at and compare to, or this one we can look at in the aspect of, or this one we can that we can hold and regard as. And he was the servant of Solomon. That's covenant, that peace that God had given. And he was the son of David, that which went forth from the beloved, or the chosen one. And he had rose up against his Lord, and that would be to rise up against the king. 7. And there were gathered unto him vain men, base fellows that strengthened themselves against Rehoboam the son of Solomon, when Rehoboam was young and faint-hearted, and could not withstand them. And there were gathered unto him these vain men, these evil fellows, these base fellows, and base means to be low, to set low, to be content down there like a foundation, and that's to be the low lives, and they strengthened themselves against Rehoboam. And Rehoboam, as that was increased by the nations, that we will find out, the son of Solomon, that son of the peace covenant, that which would go forth from the peace. And when Rehoboam was young and faint-hearted and could not withstand them. And we found out Rehoboam wasn't so young. He was 41 years old, but he was young in the sense of being a king. He hadn't been a king, and that's a whole different life there. See, you may be 41 years old, but you're experiencing being a king. You're just a child. And he was faint-hearted. He was weak in his understandings. He just couldn't withstand Jeroboam. 8. And now you think to withstand the kingdom of the Lord in the hand of the sons of David, and you are a great multitude, and there are with you the golden calves, which Jeroboam made you for gods. And now Jeroboam and all these men, these twice as many as Abijah has, they have come up, and they think that they're going to take over the kingdom, prevail against it, that's now in the hand of the sons of David, Abijah, and he's only holding these two kingdoms. We'll find these two nations, that Jeroboam is controlling the other 10. And he says, there's great multitude. You got a lot of people with you, and there's your golden calves. These golden calves, these are, it's a calf of something. And we don't know. It's just a calf. It's not a bull or a cow. It's something else. And that's an image that they've made of this thing, out of gold, that which belongs to God. And these are these not gods that Jeroboam had made, and we found out about those in Kings, and he set them up, and he told Israel, these are your gods that brought you out of Egypt, and caused the people to go greatly astray with these images and these altars that he set there. 9. Have you not driven out the priests of the Lord, the sons of Aaron, and the Levites, and have made you priests after the manner of the peoples of other lands, so that whosoever cometh to consecrate himself with a young bullock and 7 rams, the same becomes a priest of them that are no gods. And they had driven out the priests. Remember, Jeroboam and his sons had caused them to flee, and they had went back to Judah, back to Jerusalem, and got in their order there. And we'll find out these were the sons of Aaron. These would be the Zadok, Aaron is the light bringer, and Levites are those that minister unto the house, and minister unto these that minister unto God. But they made them their own priests. Anybody that wanted to be a priest, we'll find out they made a priest. Just like everybody and all the peoples of the other lands did. See that they're not a gods, these images they make. Not anybody can be a priest. You have to be a Levite. And whosoever would consecrate himself or set himself aside for a purpose with a young bullock, and this young bullock is this young one that has no understanding, got no experience. He's the one that breaks loose. He goes out and he does harm to the flock. He does harm to the herd because he don't have no understanding. And that's what the bullock represents. These 7 rams. Seven's always going to be perfection, accomplishment. It's done. Rams and these ones that exalt themselves with these twistings. That's what the rams are. They've got these horns of strength, and they're twisted. The same becomes a priest of them that are no gods. And anybody who wanted to bring up a bullock and these 7 rams, and they would make them a priest to these things that aren't no gods at all. These images, these creations of men, and these understandings of men as well. 10. But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. And we have priests ministering unto the Lord, the sons of Aaron, and Levites in their work. But as for us, the Lord is our God, and he still is. God is the only Lord there is. God, he is the supreme, and there is no other. He gives dominion to all those that rule, but God is the true king, and it is his dominion over which they do rule. And Abiyah is saying we still have the priests doing their duties right in the orders they were supposed to be in. He's trying to tell the people, come on back, see, because God's always there to forgive. Aaron, these sons of Aaron, and even this light bringer, and those that join in their work. 11. And they burn unto the Lord every morning and every evening burnt offerings and sweet incense. And they burn every morning. This is the time of enlightenment, when the sun comes up and the morning's coming forth, understanding with the sun, light where we can see. And every evening these burnt offerings, and every evening these things that pass through the fire and make. This is where the darkness is, and the darkness, that period of time where we can't see, even that time of fear, time of darkness, time of not knowing. These burnt offerings, and that's what's going to pass through the fire and make atonement. And these sweet incense, that which makes a sweet incense is this a wonderful odor that goes up, and we'll see it had an exact recipe. This which makes a pleasant odor before the Lord. The showbread is the law. It represents the law. Set out on this table, we'll find out, this pure gold table, these 4 corners representing the places where they turn unto God. Every measurement of it. And the showbread's the law. It nourishes body and soul. And these candlesticks of gold with the lamps thereof, and these lamp holders, these lampstands of gold, that which is made of God, and the lamps that sit on them, because they burn that precious anointing olive oil, to burn every evening. And they burn every evening for light, for understanding. That's that light of the fire. For we keep the charge of the Lord our God, but you have forsaken him. They have forsaken the Lord their God, and they had made them these not gods to worship them. And we'll find out that's the example God's trying to point out to you. And behold, God is with us at our head, and his priests with the trumpets of alarm to sound an alarm against you, O children of Israel. Fight you not against the Lord, the God of your fathers, for you shall not prosper. And behold, God is at our head, and that's what they're saying. God, and we'll find out. Abiyah does exactly what God says. Abiyah stays in accordance with the law. God is our Father. He stays in accordance with the law, and he says God is at our head. God is at the top. God is the understanding we have, and his priest with the trumpets of alarm. And these trumpets, those instruments, they would blow, and that's that ram's horn. They would blow it, that shofar, to sound this alarm against you, O children of Israel. And that's those that contend with the mighty one. Fight you not against the Lord, the God of your fathers, for you shall not prosper. Don't fight against God. You will not prosper. There's no way you can. But we'll find it's God who does cause the nations to strive. He is the one who does send those that cause the nations to strive. 13, but Jeroboam caused an ambush to come up behind them. So they were before Judah, and the ambushment was behind them. But Jeroboam wasn't listening. Yeah, all the while he was making his plans to come up behind him, he didn't hear a word anybody said. This one who contends with the nation. He sends an ambush, and an ambush is just a sneak attack, kind of. We can comes around the flank move, and we'll find here he come up behind him. So they were in front of Judah, and this ambushment that Jeroboam had sent around were behind him. 14. And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind them. And they cried unto the Lord, and the priests sounded with the trumpets. And when Judah, those are praising, seen this, they seen the ambush was behind them. And here's all Jeroboam, his front forces in front of them. They cried out unto God. And when they cried out unto God, we'll find out that's what God was waiting on. His ears are listening constantly for the sound of those prayers of return. And the priests sounded the trumpets, even these warnings. 15. Then the men of Judah gave a shout, and the men of Judah shouted. And as the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that God smote Jeroboam and all Israel before Abiyah and Judah. And as soon as we'll find out, these men of Judah give this shout. They all give a great shout as they charge. God smote Jeroboam. He smote these ones. What he did was he rebuked the devourer, even this one that causes the nations to strive, and all Israel, all those ones that contend with the mighty one, that were before Abiyah and Judah, and that because God, my Father, he is God, and it's his praising. 16. And the children of Israel fled before Judah, and God delivered them into their hands. And these children of Israel, all those that contend with the mighty one, they take off running. They're running from Judah, these praisings, and God delivers them, we'll find out, over into their works. And 17, and Abiyah and his people slew them with a great slaughter. So there fell down slain of Israel 500,000 chosen men. And Abiyah and his people, they chase them down with a great slaughter. We'll find out there fell down of Israel those that contend with the mighty one. They have fallen, those 500,000, from grace. See, because grace is the judgment and the fulfillment of these chosen men, and these are those that were chosen to be slain. 18. Thus the children of Israel were brought under at that time, and the children of Judah prevailed, because they relied upon the Lord, the God of their fathers. Thus the children of Israel were brought under, and what had happened? They were conquered that day and humbled. We will add they were humbled, and they were brought down from their high horse where they was riding at that time, during that period. And the children of Judah prevailed against them because they relied on God. And that is why they prevailed. 19. And Abiyah pursued after Jeroboam and took cities from him, Bethel and the towns thereof, and Yeshanah, the towns thereof, and Ephraim, the towns thereof, and Abiyah, my God his father. He pursues after this one who strives with the nations, and he takes these cities from him, these places that have a guard. Bethel, that's the house of the mighty one. Bethel, that house of the mighty one, the abode of the mighty one, and his strong ones, with the towns thereof. And that's all the little towns around it. And Yeshanah is the places of storage, the stored, that which is stored up. We'll find out it's from old. And the towns thereof. And Ephraim, it's not Ephraim, that would be the plural of flute, but this is Ephron. Ephron. And Ephron is that fawn, like the Ephron is like a calf. This is that calf, that Ephron, that which can bring forth. It's like something that can add to the herd, not like the bullock, which breaks loose and does damage to the herd. The Ephron is that which we can see is going to add to, and the towns thereof. Neither did Jeroboam recover strength again in the days of Abijah, and the Lord smote him, and he died. And Jeroboam didn't get his strength back after this little battle. Not in these understandings of Abijah, my God's father, because God smote him, and he died, 21. But Abijah waxed mighty, and took unto himself 14 wives, and begat 22 sons, and 16 daughters. But Abijah, my father's God, he just waxes mighty and gets stronger, and he takes unto himself these 14 wives. 14, see, 10 and 4, because the law is the work of God here, these wives. And these wives, a wife is a woman, that from man, even an understanding that shall bring forth. We find out this 20 and 2 sons. 20 is redemption. 2 we can witness. Sons, these ones that go forth even with seed. And 16 daughters. 16, because 10 and 6, that's the law. It's the work of man. These daughters, and that's from their mother, these understandings that will go forth. 22. And the rest of the acts of Abijah and his ways and his sayings are written in the commentary of the prophet Iddo. And everything else, Abijah, my father, who's God, and his ways and all his sayings, they are written, these words that will stay in this commentary of the prophet Iddo, and Iddo, even my servant, or actually Iddo is this one who's come before me. 23. So Abijah slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, his son, reigned in his stead. In his days the land was quiet 10 years. And we'll find out, and Abijah sleeps with his fathers. He goes, and he's buried in the city of David, that city, a place that has a guard of the beloved. And Asa, his son, reigns in his stead. And Asa would be taken over the kingdom. And Asa, that heals the wound, this healer of the wound, even. In his days, the land would be quiet 10 years. And 10, because that's the law. And these years, even these greater understandings, that does cause the rest in his days, even in his understanding. We're going to move forward to chapter 14. Turn and return.